The Senate's passage of Democrat spending bill is another major victory for President Biden after other accomplishments just in the past several weeks, including the signing of a gun reform bill and the death of al-Qaeda's leader, that criminal terrorist mastermind. But as a new piece from The Hill points out, the president's hot streak is failing to quell Democratic doubts about whether he should seek a second term. Joining us is our friend and the author of that article, Niall Stange, White House columnist for The Hill. Good to see you. And I'm reading your article. You write after what has felt like a rudderless administration. There are significant victories for President Biden. We mentioned some of those. This new bill, do you think it's going to earn him a second term?
I don't think it will in itself earn him a second term, but it does at least have a chance of changing the narrative around his administration. Adrienne, the big criticism of the Biden administration has been that it hasn't done very much. It had seemed rudderless, as I said, for a long period. That has now changed within the past 4 to 6 weeks very substantially because of some of the things you named, as well as the legislation for increased health care for veterans and the CHIPS measure, which boosts the US semiconductor industry. This bill at the weekend is the biggest yet. It is the most powerful rebuttal to that argument that President Biden hasn't been able to do significant things.
So Republicans say this is only going to make inflation worse, raising taxes and IRS audits on middle-class Americans. Democrats say it's going to reduce the deficit. Who's right?
Well, I mean, I think some of those Republican arguments are more difficult to sustain, let me put it that way. For example, the audit question. The IRS says that the proportion of people who will be audited with incomes under 400,000 won't change. The rate of auditing increases with your wealth, generally speaking. Obviously, for understandable reasons, someone who's pulling in $10 million is more likely to be audited than somebody who's pulling in $50,000. On the inflation question, the charge that this increases inflation is based upon an academic study from the Penn Wharton School, which actually said it would increase inflation by 0.05 of a percentage point. Now, I mean, I guess you can say it's worse to increase inflation than to lower it, but I mean, that is pretty marginal by any stretch of the imagination. Other experts say it will lower inflation by bringing down things like prescription drug costs.
So there are a lot of things that are promised in that bill, but is there any enthusiasm indicator for how much Americans care about climate control as a topic, as a priority?
That's a great question. And you said as a topic and then as a priority, and those are two different things in many ways. People think climate change is important, for sure. And as climate change has more tangible impact on our day-to-day lives, more people care about it. Do they vote on it? That is a much more difficult question because it tends to be seen as something that is difficult for party politics to deal with. And there doesn't seem to be that much faith that lawmakers will deal with it. So you ask people, are you worried about climate change? Lots of people say yes. You ask people, will climate change policy determine your vote? The number drops a long way down.
Yeah, and there are a lot of wealthy who have indicated that they have an investment in climate change for legacy. The president also, of course, concerned about his legacy, remarking over the weekend, saying that there are more people working in America than in any other point in our nation's history. Is that true?
I believe it is, but of course it's a higher or larger population than at any point in our history. The unemployment rate is very low. It now matches the pre-pandemic low under former President Trump, which I believe was February 2020. So it is low by historic standards. Economically, the flip side of the picture is obviously inflation at its highest point in 4 decades. That's the anvil that is weighing President Biden's approval ratings down.
Okay. I wish we had time to talk about former President Trump and CPAC, but we're out of time. Darn. Niall, what were you going to say?
I was only going to say that I always wish we had more time to talk, Adrienne, but unfortunately, time is finite.
It is. I wish it wasn't. Niall, thank you so much. See you again soon.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.